not in Kansas anymore.
You have my curiosity.
Are you telling me you built a time machine?
The Force will be with you. Always. Assemble.
Welcome back to the Get Real podcast, the podcast where we get real about all our favourite pop culture films and TV shows. And with me, as always, is my co-host and news anchor, Sam.
You know what I've realised when we introduce an episode, and I thought about this today on the way to work, we always introduce each other but never ourselves.
Yeah, sometimes we do, and then, other times we don't. Like, when we first started the podcast, we introduced ourselves, but I think it's just lately we just introduced the other person.
Yeah, I was test listening to one of the podcasts in my car on the way to work this morning, and I was like, hang on, I didn't say my name. And then I went back to another episode, and I was like, hang on, Chris didn't say his name. And I was like, it's like you always have to tune into the next week to find out who's who. Anyway, welcome back to Get Real.
we only have names in every other episode.
Yeah, that's how we get you. You have to listen to 2 episodes to
Keep you in
find out
suspense.
all of our names. So, anyway, Chris, it's been a bit of a lackluster week of releases, hasn't it? So,
well, yeah, pandemic's still going on.
Still going
The only
strong.
thing I've released is a lot of my hair. I don't know if you could tell by the audio, but because we said this last episode,
I can't
do I
hear,
sound different with a haircut?
I can't hear the hair resting against your microphone anymore because it was that long.
There we go. It was like a big old shaggy mane.
So I got rid of my lockdown cut last week, and you've got rid of your lockdown cut this week.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
over
like
the weekend.
Like a two new fresh podcast hosts, aren't we?
2 new fresh boys.
Fresh boys.
2 new fresh boys.
Check out our mixtape, Fresh Boys. Oh goodness!
I imagine it's like us two, but like we've got all like mumble rapper face tattoos, but we're dressed as like bakers or something, or on like the bakery counter at a food shop or something.
Yeah,
grocery store.
I've got one of those like eyebrow tattoos, but it's boys spelt BOIZ.
And I've got fresh on mine.
Yeah.
So when we stand next to each other, it says fresh boys.
So
That's
we have to put our heads side by side, and it like reads across our eyebrows.
That's the internal cover, you know, like the back of the lyric sheet inside of a CD.
Oh, I like it. That sounds pretty right. Anyway, this is a podcast
Somebody
about
Photoshop
TV.
it. Somebody Photoshop
Yeah. This is a podcast about TV and film, if you didn't already realise. I mean, we all love a good tangent, but I'm going to start it a little bit different, I think, Chris. What's been on your watch list this week? Have you watched anything new? Or you've been pretty busy, but...
Mate, have I watched anything new? Well, I watched a couple of films over the weekend. I can't even think what I watched now. I can't even remember. I started watching Avatar: The Last Airbender again.
Okay,
while
that's
I'm
pretty
working.
Cool. Yeah.
If you haven't watched that, that's fantastic. The series, not the film. I don't need to say that. It's a meme. Everybody knows, but just watch the series. It's fantastic. Sam, have you ever watched that?
I've not, no, but I know it's something that Dave Filoni worked on, wasn't
it? Briefly, yeah.
Yeah, while he was at Nickelodeon.
Yeah. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's such a good narrative and great characters. It is very childish. Like the sequel series, Legend of Korra, is a little bit more grown up. But it's definitely worth a watch. It's all on Netflix.
Yeah.
So definitely just give it a watch. It's still a great show, even though it is a kid's show. Like I've watched it like 5 times through now. All our mates love it and everything. So
yeah, there was an anime that I used to watch years and years ago, but I can't remember what it is. But the main protagonist seems very similar to The Last Airbender. Like,
was it Shaolin Showdown?
I mean, it bloody well could have been Shaolin Showdown.
Okay, so both of those things aren't animes. I'll just correct you on that real quick. They are Western animations, but they're done in a very traditional Eastern style.
Oh, okay.
But the reason I said, is it Shaolin Showdown, is because that's got a small kid with a bald head in it as well. So I thought maybe you got... Maybe in your head you were like, a kid show with a bald kid in it. Yep, okay, yep.
Maybe not the exact... Oh, my God, the dogs. We're going to be right back a second while I sort this out. So Shaolin Showdown was the one with that kid with the was it like a oh goodness me, they're still going. It was the kid with like the cowboy hat, but he's also a monk.
Yeah,
Oh.
so it was four different monks from like different background. They were all kids. So you had like the main kid that was the small one with the little like bowling ball head with the 9 dots on his forehead, the bald one.
Yeah.
He was like a traditionally trained monk, so he always thought he was the best at kung fu. Then you had the Texas guy with the blonde hair, the big fucking cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Then you had Kimiko. I even remember her name. Kimiko was like an Asian girl. Obviously, it's an Asian show. You need an Asian girl in there. And then you had like a basketball playing guy. I think he was Mexican descendant.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of that anime was that I used to watch. I'm gonna have to do some research and get back to you on it. So yeah,
Was it Dragon Ball Z?
It wasn't Dragon. I did watch Dragon Ball Z, and I used to stay up really late and watch Samurai Jack because
Samurai Jack was great.
You had to, literally had to. But yeah, so is that all you've been watching?
Yeah, pretty much. What have you been watching?
Well, Chris, as I'm an absolute idiot, me and my girlfriend were like sat together, and she wanted to watch Rocket Man, the Elton
film.
John biopic. So to get Rocket Man, I couldn't find it on any of the streaming platforms, but I found it was on Now TV because of the Sky Cinema Pass.
Yeah.
So I went to go get a free trial to Now TV, and I've ended up accidentally buying a month of Now TV. So I don't know. Yeah, I accidentally slipped and hit the wrong thing and started paying for it. So
whoops, yet another subscription service.
Yeah, and I immediately cancelled that, so it wasn't going to renew again. So I decided that I've got 30 days worth of Now TV to blitz through. So I watched Rocket Man whilst kind of falling asleep because it was really late.
Good film.
Yeah, you know what? It's all right. It's all right. I think I was quite shocked at how musical it was. I think I was expecting it more to be like the Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, which isn't it's musical, don't get me wrong, but it's live performances. I thought it was maybe going to be something like that. But I enjoyed it. I thought once it got up to the bit where it was mainly Taron Egerton leading it, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I think definitely I think Rocket Man's the better out of the two.
Really?
I think it uses its music better as well.
Oh, I don't know, man. I came out of it and both me and my girlfriend thought that Bohemian Rhapsody was the better film.
No,
and then
I don't think so.
I've finally watched Godzilla King of Monsters as well. King of the Monsters.
Oh, is it good?
You know what? Yeah, it's all right.
Is it just a big monster movie?
Well, I kind of watched it wrong. And what I mean by that is that when you have a film with big monsters and battle scenes, it definitely shouldn't be watched on an iPad.
Yeah. You made the biggest monsters in cinema the tiniest things.
So I put it on my iPad because I was doing stuff at the same time. So I thought, well, two birds, one stone. I thought, put that on in the background. It's not a film that's going to need my absolute undivided attention, is it? Because it's just Godzilla versus King Ghidorah and, and all
Mothra.
that business. Yeah, Mothra, and you've got Rodan, sorry. Yeah. Rodian is an animal, a race from Star Wars. But yeah, it was... Man, I don't know. I thought there was only really the big monster scenes, like a couple of them that stand out, but I think it's fine. It's the same problems and stuff that the first one had, where it's really all about the monsters and not about the cast. But it's the same time they're really trying to focus and move the actors along and build these, with Millie Bobby Brown's character and stuff like that. And then there's this stupid MacGuffin that's just pointless of the Orca, it's called, and it's like, ugh. But
I just kind of want it to be a big screen adaptation of me as a kid bashing action figures together.
Yeah,
that's all I want out of it. I don't need deep character developments and stuff. You make Godzilla the character in it. That's what you should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, it focuses a lot on Godzilla, and it focuses a lot on his, like, or hers. Sorry, we don't know whether Godzilla is
Theirs.
It's.
They.
Yeah, it's like it does focus more on that, and it gives you an idea of like where he's been and why things are happening and stuff like that. And it's obviously there's about 5,000 mentions of Skull Island, so if you didn't realize that these are part of the same thing, then
guys, King Kong is coming. Guys,
Yeah.
guys, get it. King Kong is coming. This is an in between film. We're getting ready for King Kong.
Yeah,
okay?
it's like every time there's a moment where they're talking about things around the world, it's like we've had reports from Skull Island, or there's
Monarch,
disturbance on
Monarch.
Skull Island division. It's like, yeah, all right, keep going, and then at the end, because we all know it's going towards Godzilla versus King Kong, we all know that's coming. It's quite good. I mean, it's just literally ends on like a little bit of artwork, just showing them fighting, which is pretty cool. My only problem with the Godzilla film is Ken Watanabe saying Godzilla is just
Does it feel like too much of a cliche?
It's just so over, like it's just so shoehorned in, and it's not. I like Ken Watanabe. Don't get me wrong, right? But the way he says Godzilla and the way they put it into the film is just, to me, it's just borderline a little bit offensive with how much they're shoving it in.
It's too cliche.
Yeah, it's so cliche.
Yeah.
And they build up this massive thing because he really, really admires Godzilla and stuff, and obviously he's feels very passionate about Godzilla. But yeah, go watch it.
Is this in Gods of Monsters, or are you talking about the 2014 Godzilla now?
I'm talking about King of the Monsters, to be fair.
Okay.
But
I wasn't sure if he was in the new one or not.
no,
But
yeah, he's in it
because he was in it in the 2014 one, and I know as soon as like he said it in that film, we were in the cinema together and we were like,
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's that, and we're not gonna say it because it is offensive when you try and mimic it.
Yeah. We shouldn't be doing it.
No, we should definitely not be doing it. But if you watch it, especially King of the Monsters, you will kind of get what I mean. But yeah, that's what I've watched over the last week. I've got the rest of Now TV to try and smash. I've started watching Far From Home again.
Oh, good film.
Give that a second watch because I've not watched it again.
You know what? I did actually watch most of over the weekend. I watched a couple films, but the only one that I can actually remember. Oh no, I can remember. So we watched Julie and Julia.
Okay.
Which is a Meryl Streep, Amy Adams film about a woman doing a blog cooking everything out of Julia Child's cookbook. So it's sort of like a biopic about Julia Childs as well.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep's phenomenal, as always.
Yeah.
And what else did we watch? 13 going on 30. Classic chick flick.
Nice.
I used to watch that film so much growing up because my sister had like a 2-pack. It was 13 going on 30 and Mean Girls. And it was the only thing my sister would ever put on. And she used to play it all the time. So I've just got those two films like memorized. But the one thing I did forget was the fact that Andy Serkis plays the leader of the publication.
What?
The fashion magazine. This was like the same year, I think, that Return of the King came out.
No way.
Yeah, Andy Serkis is in 13 going on 13 playing this
That's
like
so
fashion
funny.
magazine editor.
That's so funny.
Brilliant.
Is he British in it, or has he got an American accent going on? Oh, I've just seen a
I can't
photo of
remember,
him, and you could just about figure out that that's Andy Serkis because of like the strange
goatee that he's got.
Very strange goatee. Yeah.
Yeah. I just completely forgot that he was in that film, and I'm sure it came out the same year as like Return of the King or something like that.
Oh my goodness. He has got the Gollum eyes, hasn't he? He
can't escape him.
can't escape those eyes. They're absolutely piercing, aren't they?
He's phenomenal. He's great.
Love Andy Serkis. I watched Black Panther again not long ago, and I really enjoyed him in Black Panther.
I watched it again not so long ago.
Well, I watched Godzilla, and you watched 13 going on 30.
I'm sure I watched something else that was a bit more interesting than that as well. I remember what I watched. No Country for Old Men. I watched the first half of that again.
You know what?
Before I went
really
to
want
bed.
watch that after watching The Last of Us playthrough. Because the guy that I was watching do the playthrough of it was referencing No Country for Old Men quite a lot.
Have you not seen it?
No, I've not seen it.
Oh, mate, it's one of the best Coen Brothers films.
I know, and
Oh, it's fantastic.
how I do a film podcast and I've not seen No Country for Old Men, but
Javier Bardem,
I know.
fucking Josh Brolin. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. It's one of them, I've always seen bits, but I've never like sat down and watched it, and I just think it's because it's obviously like an older film. I don't think I've really took
It's only
the time.
2007.
Well, I was like, what?
Tommy Lee Jones as well. That man's face just tells a story before he even says a word in a film.
Yeah.
Like, he's got such like an old, like wrinkled, like weathered face that like you believe he's lived in that character for like the last 80 years before he played the part. It's great.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones, man.
Kills it. Right.
Should we get onto some news?
Yeah.
Should we just do it?
So there's no new films. So we're doing a whole load of news and a whole load of trailers because we got a couple of first looks at things this week. And
Yes.
there's quite a little bit of news to cover off, I suppose. So we'll just take it line by line.
Yes.
Trust the old Google Keep document that keeps this podcast going. First thing is there's been a new image from Wonder Woman 84. And it's to show the Amazonian Olympics are actually going to be taking place, which could be a big kind of plot device, I suppose.
Yeah, so was this the photo of young Diana in the Olympics?
Yeah, so it's probably like a bit of like a flashback kind
We
of.
had a tease of this, didn't we, where she's jumping up all those like pillars and stuff.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool.
Looks pretty cool.
I remember I've actually packed the book away, so I'm packing for moving at the moment. So my office is ghetto rigged at the moment. I can't remember what the book's called. It's an actual novel. It's Wonder Woman. I think it's like Warbringer or something like that. But that opens with Diana running the marathon, I believe, in the Amazon Olympics.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
So it is a pretty cool like world building.
It looks like she's doing the javelin or something in this one.
Yeah,
She's pretty sick. That's
Cool.
that's all there is to say about that.
that's all there is. There's just a new image, but yeah, that would definitely be cool. Actually, having a bit of Themyscira in there again, even though obviously she can't return to it.
Yeah,
Be nice to bring that back.
yeah, for sure. Do you want to take the next one?
Yes. Idris Elba has said we are getting ever closer to a Luther movie. So we've been hearing this for like the last year or two, I believe, that Idris Elba and BBC have been interested in getting a Luther movie off the ground after the 4 seasons of wrapped. I think it was 4 seasons. I don't think they're going to do any more series of it anytime soon, but they are getting closer to a film. I think they're going to do like one last hurrah as a film.
Yeah.
And then put the character to rest. But Luther's fantastic, man.
Yeah, I don't know whether I ever actually got up to speed with Luther. I watched quite a lot of it, but I really, really enjoyed Idris Elba in it. I really liked his character. I like Idris Elba in pretty much everything he's in, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, he's great. I think the only bit of Luther I haven't seen is the last series, which I think was shorter. I think it was only 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And they did a mini-series type thing to try and wrap up some storylines.
I think it was one of those British programs that does quite well overseas as well because of someone like Idris Elba carrying it.
Yeah, it did really well on like BBC America and stuff like that with like Doctor Who and Sherlock and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It got pushed a lot because it was airing like in between seasons of Sherlock, so I think that like pushed it along.
Yeah, it was like giving people that kind of fix for that sort of TV, I suppose, wasn't it?
That gritty British crime drama.
Oh, because like
we
there's not
just
enough
do
of them.
crime drama well. We just do.
Yeah.
Cop shows.
It's like what was that? Was it not Community, not Neighborhood? It had Dexter in it. Michael. What's his name?
Not Michael Hall.
No, Michael Hall. No, Michael C. Hall. Yeah, Michael C. Hall.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. It was Safe. Did you ever watch Safe on Netflix?
Not even heard of it.
No, that's a bit of like a British drama. That's quite good as well.
Okay.
And it's got Michael C. Hall. And parts of that were filmed in Manchester because he's like running through like Northern Quarter, you know, like those shops that have got like the black shop back banners, and then you've got like just the orange text that have the shop names.
Like where Forbidden Planet and
and
stuff
you
is.
see all that up at the top, and you're like, well, he's just gone from some really fancy neighborhood, just turned a corner, and he was in Manchester.
So it's one of those where, like, if you actually know the place, you're like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is about seeing places that you recognize in TV shows and films that just really confuses you and just kind of.
Well, I was saying that a couple episodes ago with Life on Mars is based in Manchester. It's based in Manchester in the 70s. And, like, it was so weird, like, he wakes up. So the main character wakes up in the past, and he wakes up on where my office is now.
Yeah.
Like, when it was just rubble land.
Yeah,
it's so weird, it's bizarre.
You see it a lot in, like, Peaky Blinders. You see it in... We're going to see it in Morbius, because Morbius was filmed in Manchester.
That was literally shot at the back of my head office.
So you're going to see... Yeah, because they transformed, like, one of the popular squares in Manchester, didn't they?
Yeah. Captain America, the First Avenger, was shot in Manchester. That was shot near the Science and Industry Museum.
Oh, okay.
Peaky Blinders, like you said, I was watching that and I was like, I know where that is. What else? The Crown. It's being used as a set for New York. Manchester is.
Oh, okay.
A couple of the back streets apparently looks like New York in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, there are quite a few like big alleyways and stuff like that in between buildings, and some parts are quite open and stuff. So yeah, cool. Next story is obviously with cinemas reopen as of the 4th of July. That's for you, America. Ghostbusters actually took away the box office, like the original Ghostbusters did really well.
I would go see Ghostbusters if it was on a cinema over.
Yeah, well, I was looking at the cinema near us to see what was actually showing in the cinema, because obviously they've opened back up, but it's like, well, what are you going to show? Because Tenet's not out yet. And Wonder Woman and Black Widow and stuff that was all meant to be coming out isn't out yet. So when I was
what is it showing?
So what I was trying to, I had a hiccup, so I was trying to like build space. It was showing Onward, 1917, Sonic the Hedgehog, Parasite, A Star Is Born, Bad Boys for Life, Bloodshot.
Bloodshot and Bad Boys for Life seem like a very odd choice to be re-showing.
Yeah. Birds of Prey, Knives Out, and then I also saw, which was really cool, I saw Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, cool.
I really wish I went.
Which cinema was this?
This was this is our local.
Was it the new one in town, or was it the classic?
The classic.
Oh, right. That's a surprise.
Oh, it's on
that's
Friday.
Normally
it's on Friday.
Oh, bro, you should definitely go see that.
Yeah, go watch Empire Strikes Back. You should see
it's so good on the big screen. It's so good on the big screen.
It's because it's the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, there we go.
And there's a very cool 40th anniversary poster for it.
Oh, cool. I saw it with the live orchestra, like we've spoken about before.
Oh, I saw it with the live orchestra.
You saw A New Hope.
Yeah, I know.
It's so good on the big screen. Like,
yeah, it's pretty.
It just
good.
hits different on the big screen.
I think they're showing it throughout July, to be honest with you. So we should probably, when you get time anyway, because you're very busy at the minute, we should go do a socially distant trip to the cinema to watch Empire Strikes Back.
I cannot tell you how many stress headaches I've had lately. Like, my eyes are just permanently bloodshot and itchy. Like, my eyes go irritated when I'm stressed. And I've got really bad hay fever. And it's really bad this year, so I'm just constantly like, Argh!
I mean,
oh man.
I mean, I know
I would love to take a break to go see Empire Strikes Back.
I mean, I know the podcast is hard work, Chris, but Jesus.
Anyway, next story. Do you want to take this one? Because I haven't read this article.
Okay. I thought we was going to take it in turns.
Yeah, I saw the headline, but I was like, what's the story here?
Okay, so basically, the next story is that Disney came out and said, or a executive at Disney came out and said that Tron 3 actually has a really great script already, and the time is right for a third Tron film.
Okay, so this is the one with Jared Leto in? Was the last thing we heard about it?
Wasn't that Blade Runner?
No, he's well, very, very similar looking films, but no, apparently he was cast in Tron 3 as well.
Oh, okay.
Do we know who's working on this? Do we know if it's the same guy that did Tron Legacy?
I'm not too sure. It may have been the same.
I'll be honest with you. I really like Tron Legacy. I love the Tron franchise.
I've never really took the time to watch the Tron films.
Like, Tron 1 is clunky and a bit difficult to watch now unless you have mega nostalgia for it.
Yeah.
Like, I did watch it growing up, so I have got a bit of nostalgia for it, but when Tron Legacy came out, just the aesthetic of it just captured me.
Was that the crazy de-aging of Jeff Bridges?
That's the one bit we don't talk about, because that was kind of terrifying. The technology wasn't quite there. Like, it was there enough that I went to see it with my mum. Like, I think it was a Christmas Eve film that we went to see one year. And she was like, "Oh my god, that's young Jeff Bridges!" Like she recognized who it was, but then she was like, "Oh."
Yeah, so it was the Disney music executive Mike Mitchell-Lieb, who worked on Tron Legacy, confirmed that Disney had a script for the third movie, and it may actually happen thanks to Disney Plus.
So the two things I need to know are what cast are coming back. And is Daft Punk doing the soundtrack again? Because Daft Punk's soundtrack was phenomenal.
Lieb went on to say he had lunch with Daft Punk's manager to further a bit of a starting conversation. We've got a great script. I mean, a really phenomenal script, and we are very excited about. Whereas the timing wasn't right to have done it years ago, I think we feel that the timing is right now, and I feel like we've learned a lot of lessons from that last movie.
You can't see me right now, but I'm celebrating.
Here he is.
Woo! Also, just because we haven't had a Daft Punk album in how many years now?
Well, yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
When was the last Daft Punk album? Was it? Did they release another one after Random Access Memories? No, they haven't. 2013. It's been 7 years. That was 7 years ago.
Perfect time to bring him back.
Oh, man.
What an album.
I fucking love Daft Punk, man.
That was a very good album. Random Access Memories.
Such a good album.
Next bit of news, Chris.
Okay, the next bit of news. So, a while ago, we found out that Hayley Atwell was cast in Mission Impossible 7. We didn't have any sort of inkling of what role she was in or anything, but she's now shared a photo on her Instagram, and she is looking pretty ripped. Like, she is definitely going to have some action scenes in this film. And I love Hayley Atwell. She's a phenomenal actress who is incredibly underused in everything. So you'll probably know her as Peggy Carter from the MCU. That's a most known film, but she is a British actress who's done loads of Great British TV and stuff like that. So I'm so glad to see her hitting the mainstream with Mission Impossible 7.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. She kicks ass anyway, in the Agent Carter series. She was just kicking ass all over the fucking show in that.
She might be an Abby character from The Last of Us. And maybe we might see a particular fatality of a certain...
You reckon she's going to take over the franchise? She's going to pop fucking Tom Cruise in the head and take over the franchise?
Maybe. I mean, it's got to come to an end somewhere. I mean, surely he may have his scene in space, and then where do you go from there?
I don't think that the Mission Impossible franchise would ever continue with anybody else but Tom Cruise in it.
I want a scene on Mars.
No, that's a different film. That's a different film he's doing. That's a completely different film.
That's The Martian Part 2. Sorry.
That's Martian Manhunter. That's the Martian from Looney Tunes. Anyway, yeah, give me more Hayley Atwell on the big screen. Do it.
Yeah. Next story is that Charlize Theron is pretty pissed off about a recasting for the Mad Max prequel.
Why are they doing this?
What a
Like-
strange choice.
This is definitely just an executive at Warner Brothers, like, just pissing up the wall. I'd lay you a bet it was something to do with, like, scheduling conflict. So we had a story a while ago, I remember because I've seen it in our notes before, that, like, Mad Max is meant to start production next summer, or was meant to start production this summer in Australia. And everyone was like, oh yeah, finally, like, we're finally getting the Mad Max sequel, which we all sort of thought was going to be a Furiosa film. And everyone was like, cool, Charlize Theron's going to be back, it's going to be incredible, it's just going to be like Fury Road, she's great. I'm going to guess there's been some sort of conflict of interest because of the pandemic, maybe, and she couldn't hit the start date. So instead of just, this is a pure speculation, by the way, instead of just like pushing the shoot back, they've recast it, and I think that's the worst thing you could do for the franchise. I think that's just committing suicide to the franchise.
Yeah, because, like, who else do you see as Furiosa?
You can't.
You
You
can't.
just can't.
She absolutely just nailed it. So it's like, you can't. Like, where do you go? It's like,
It's not like it was the character of Mad Max where, like, we now have two different versions of it and, like, they're both sort of iconic in their own right now. Like, the Tom Hardy version has got his own core fan base now.
yeah.
Whereas, like, Furiosa was Charlize Theron's performance.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like she's described it as like heartbreaking, and it's like, well, you have someone that's that passionate about the character, and she's a loved actress for this role as well. It's like, why take the risk? Like, I mean, she's doing is it The Old Guard for Netflix?
Yeah, that comes out pretty soon now, actually.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it's just such a shame.
So we find
mean,
out when that comes out.
It depends on how much of a prequel it is. Like, are we gonna still get Tom Hardy, or
Well, I guess not, because they wouldn't have met.
no?
It wouldn't make sense unless they had parallel stories going on. So, The Old Guard releases July 10th, so 2 days from when we're recording this.
Okay.
It's actually being written by Greg Rucka, which I'm really buzzed about because he's a great comic book writer. I believe this is based off a comic book property.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's one that Greg Rucka has written in the past.
Cool.
But either way,
yeah.
it's going to be pretty shit hot, the script anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And then my last little tidbit of news that I've got for this little bit is that there was a recut of a scene from The Rise of Skywalker that's been doing the rounds online. I don't know whether you've took chance to watch this.
I haven't. I did not know this was a thing.
So what's basically happened is, spoilers for The Rise of Skywalker if you live under a rock. But basically the bit where Rey confronts Palpatine and there's the whole I am all the Sith and then I am all the Jedi moment.
Yes.
When she gets the two lightsabers and then puts the lightning back on him. So
Yes.
someone has edited in like Anakin Skywalker, Mace Windu, Yoda, Obi-Wan.
That's exactly what I asked for.
Yeah, they've edited them all in so that when she when she hears the name voices and stuff talking to her, they all appear as like faint force ghosts behind her. And when she uses the lightsaber to hold back the lightning, they're all holding their hands out as though they're helping her push the lightning back. And it's
That's
not just...
exactly what I've said to you we needed in that scene.
Which makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, because people would have heard, like, the people who aren't hardcore fans would have heard those voices and been like, who the fuck are these guys? But, like, if you just give them the visuals, like there was no harm in it. It was the last swan song to all these characters. Like, why not?
Yeah, but the main thing is it was like Hayden Christensen in there. And it was like, I would have just loved to have just seen him like wrap off this franchise. I just think it would have been so tasteful.
Yeah.
But, you know, here we are. We didn't get it because toxic fan base. Let's carry on.
Oh, that was a fun conversation the other night, wasn't it?
It was it's not a conversation we're gonna have unless you want to hear
No,
it.
we've had it too many times on the podcast already.
We did
How many
6
episodes have we covered The Rise of Skywalker now?
We did like 6 episodes on Star Wars or something, so go check
Our first
them out.
ever episode was The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
We've said enough.
Literally.
Okay, the next story. Okay, this one's a biggie.
A
This one's a
biggie.
biggie. This one's a biggie. So, the director, I believe, of Black Widow has come out and said that this film will have a passing of the baton, you could say,
Okay.
a literal baton, from Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow over to Florence Pugh as the new Black Widow. So she's playing Yelena Belova.
Yes. Very good.
Woo! This is a good decision. Like, seeing as though they've killed off the character for now, obviously in the future we would love to see some like time travel shenanigans maybe and get Black Widow back. But for now, man, Florence Pugh is riding high. She is at her career's only just starting, but she's at the peak of it already. Well, not the peak, but she's on the upwards trajectory. She's a phenomenal actress.
Yeah.
Like, she is such a good get for the MCU. Like, get her in now while she's like on the rise. Oh man, this is going to be good. So, what does this mean in the future? Does it mean we're going to have a sequel to Black Widow focusing around Yelena Belova? Or, I don't know if you've seen this rumor floating around. I saw it trending when New Rockstars covered it again. But there seems to be a scene in which Florence Pugh is strapped onto like a surgical table, and it almost looks like she's having like facial surgery.
Oh, okay.
And it's happened in the comic books before, but people are thinking maybe what if we have a face swap between Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh?
Oh, okay.
And that's how the baton gets like passed on.
Okay, but doesn't it not say, well, what if maybe it stays as Black Widow, but then she just cause she would assume her new identity, right?
Yeah. So that's what I would rather have, but that's kind of funky, like a little face-off action going on.
That's that's out there. That's not something that I thought of, but holy moly, would I appreciate it? It'd be a big move, and I don't know whether it maybe be. I don't know how that would actually sit a lot amongst like all the Marvel fans. I don't know how.
It would be weird.
I don't know what the consensus would be on that. Well, let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have a thought on that.
But I think it's such a good idea to pass the baton on to Florence Pugh. Also, it means she would be a younger version of the character, which fits in with what they seem to be doing with the upcoming phases of Marvel.
Yeah,
They seem to be getting in all the younger characters leading to either Secret Avengers or Young Avengers or anything like that. Any of the youth teams, the champions maybe, or something like
and
that.
I suppose that she would just be some consistency that could follow through the the arc and stuff, and at least there you have one character who has been through everything and all the events of the previous films, from Captain America, Winter Soldier and stuff.
Also, it's sort of, you could get an interesting parallel between this new younger Avengers team, or whatever the team would be called, against the original Avengers as well. So you've now got your Black Widow stand-in. You've already got the new Sam Wilson, or maybe Bucky, Captain America, whatever it ends up being by the time that film rolls around. Probably Sam Wilson, Falcon, Captain America it would be. You've got the Iron Man substitute now with rumours of maybe an Ironheart, but I think Spider-Man's probably going to take over that arc, because that's what Far From Home was all about. You've maybe got the introduction of Scarlet Witch's children as well in there. You got Ms. Marvel coming up. So we've Kate Bishop, Hawkeye has been set up. Stature, we've got Scott Lang's daughter being set up as being a hero now that she's aged up after Endgame and stuff like that. Like, they are setting up like all these parallels to classic Avengers characters, so you could have a nice parallel with Florence Pugh in there as well, taking on the Black Widow role.
Yeah, very true. Ah, it's pretty cool though. It's a pretty cool setup, and it's all in anticipation of a new trailer that we should be getting really soon.
Yeah, so I'm seeing conflicting stories at the moment. There's a lot of supposed leaks, which I think are all mostly fake, of what Marvel will be showing at Comic Con at Home, which has been announced. They're doing a virtual version of the convention. And there's also headlines coming out saying that Marvel won't have any sort of online presence at that, which I think might be a bit silly. Like, everyone's crying out for new information, and with your films being, or series being so far through production, almost to the point of being finished, and being all pushed back, I think it would be silly not to show something from maybe like the Eternals or Falcon and Winter Soldier or WandaVision at this event. I think it would be silly not to. So we're getting conflicting stories at the moment, so we're not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah, because we've not really seen anything at all from the Eternals apart from some photos, have we? We've not even had. I mean, they're probably, they're obviously not going to start dropping too much hype for the Eternals when they're going to want people to be hyped for Black Widow. But
yeah,
I think because of the circumstances of everything going on, I think they could probably do a bit of a better job of hyping up the next phase of the MCU.
Yeah, because I think with it being delayed, it hype has dwindled a little bit.
But I feel like it's one of those things where people are more talking about Justice League and DC stuff right now over Marvel stuff. So maybe they're just taking a breather.
Maybe, yeah. But I don't think it would do any harm to Black Widow, dropping a teaser for the Eternals, even if it's just a 30-second teaser, just there, here's a look of the actual characters and maybe where the plot's going.
Yeah.
Just a small teaser sort of setting up that it might be the next sort of Guardians-looking film.
Yeah, and then we don't know where we're up to with Guardians 3 yet, do we?
That got halted production because obviously they brought James Gunn back, but he's still working on Suicide Squad at the moment.
Okay, yeah. No, that makes sense.
So that's halted and been pushed back. But I think with Falcon and Winter Soldier being so far through production as well, and we haven't had a trailer for that. We had a teaser for everything coming up in the MCU on Disney Plus. So we had 3 seconds of Loki. We had 30 seconds of WandaVision and 30 seconds of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think we could do with a proper trailer for that now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that was meant to be coming out August or September, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think probably we'll start seeing it start to ramp up after Black Widow. They'll probably take the hype of the Black Widow movie and then use that to then follow it through with the TV shows and then the Eternals, because the Eternals is only in February, and that's not far away considering we're in July now.
Yeah, it's only 8 months away.
8 months away.
You've normally seen the first trailer for a Marvel film by then.
Yeah, so it's not a lot of time, and you've still got Black Widow coming out, which I believe is it to this month? Is it now?
I don't know where the land point has ended with any of these releases anymore.
No, I mean, when you Google it, it says, it says 24th of April, which is... But
didn't it get pushed back to September?
Potentially. The thing is, if it got pushed back to September, then you're only talking you're literally only talking 5 months. Oh, October. So it's October 28th.
Right, okay.
So it got pushed to October, which means that if Eternal stays on its current schedule of February, the end of February, you're literally talking November, December, January, February. You're literally talking 4 months.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was like a couple of years ago when we were getting 3 Marvel movies a year. Obviously, this year we were only meant to be getting 2, but it seems like, we're only getting 1 now.
Well, yeah, but whoa. That, it's going to ramp up again, and I think.
Yeah.
But it's a weird time because it is the time where you're really going to have to. I have a feeling you're really going to have to hold the hands of some Marvel film fans. I'm not talking comic fans. I mean film fans who are going to be a little bit confused at the Eternals and as it moves into that, because obviously, I'd say the Infinity Saga, as it got towards the end with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and as you start getting into the weird time travel aspect of Endgame, that's already a lot for a lot of casual moviegoers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you start getting into the plot of Eternals, and you've got Kit Harington as Black Knight, and you're talking then whatever the hell Guardians 3 will drop in, and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, it's like hitting it into fifth gear and really going cosmic.
I think they did a good job with like you referenced like the Guardians films and stuff like that. Guardians 1 kept its plot like narrow enough, you know what I mean? Like it opened the universe up, but it focused really well. It didn't throw too much at you, whereas then obviously Guardians 2 started to bring in the celestial aspects a lot more, and Ego the Living Planet is such a high concept thing, but audience were ready for it after Guardians 1 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think with Endgame was a pretty like easy to swallow version of time travel.
Yeah.
So I think the way that they are doing it at the moment is leading it up that audiences will be ready for it. I think Eternals is going to be the biggest struggle, but that's probably it's going to land on how well they explain like the deviant gene and the eternal gene, the Inhumans, all that sort of stuff inside of it.
I have a feeling we should probably do an episode leading up to the Eternals where you explain a lot, because I have a feeling there's not going to be that nice little bridge of a gap between what we're going to get from Disney Plus and what we're going to get from Black Widow and any other Marvel film that sneaks its way in before Eternals, if we're lucky enough.
Yeah. I think Eternals has got a lot of legwork to do to make sure they stick the landing. So, like you said, it's easy to digest for casual audiences, which the MCU's been able to do so far. Like you saw with Captain Marvel, they introduced shape-shifting aliens and like the High Evolutionary in the Kree homeworld and stuff like that. Like they managed to introduce that pretty easily enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Eternals will be fine. I think they just need to make sure they stick that landing with the explanation, so it's not just like, sorry, what the fuck's happening?
I'm sorry, what the fuck is Richard Madden doing in this universe?
Sorry, excuse me, what these people are eternal creatures from outer space who are living on Earth?
Wait a second, am I watching Game of Thrones, or am I watching...
the Black Knight gets his power from touching a sword, and then he becomes all his previous ancestors?
Well, let's not forget, Black Widow is not the
Captain Britain?
Black Widow isn't the only Marvel movie we're getting. We're also getting the New Mutants as well, aren't we?
I keep forgetting about that film. I was so excited for it, and it's just like, just drop it on Disney Plus now. Just drop it on Disney Plus with an age rating on it.
Yeah, just literally get it out there. Forget it. But that's got a big cosmic bear. I don't know.
Maybe, depending on how they do it. Yeah, the giant spirit bear thing.
I mean, is there any kind of link there? I mean, being someone who's not... Oh, okay, fantastic.
No, that the spirit bear is more sort of a metaphor of like fear and mental health issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is what that is more of. Yeah.
It's crazy because the absolutely confirmed Marvel films that we have coming up. So we've got, in no particular order, I believe, but we have the New Mutants, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, Morbius, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Thor, Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Black Panther 2, and Captain Marvel 2.
And Spider-Man 3.
And Spider-Man 3, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
However...
And then you've got the Disney Plus shows, which are Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight.
Yeah. So where I say there's not a lot of Marvel, there is all of a sudden going to be so much Marvel, you're going to be in Marvel.
Yeah, I think it's... We as an audience are kind of lucky that the production's got halted as well. So it's not like they're just getting a backlog of Marvel stuff to then just piss out at us all at once.
Yeah.
And just like flood us with it. Like the fact that everything's been staggered backwards has sort of done us the favour of we're not going to be too bombarded by it.
What are you kind of most excited for in terms of these new Marvel properties, whether it be the Disney Plus stuff, whether it be Blade, whether it be, you know.
Okay. Black Widow I'm excited for just because I like the character and I like Scarlett Johansson and I think it's going to be a bit different for a Marvel film. But mostly it's sort of the weirder stuff. So WandaVision, because Scarlet Witch is one of my favourite characters, and the whole time travel, mind manipulation, multiple reality thing, yes, sign me up. Eternals, just because it's going to be weird probably, and we're getting the introduction of all these really niche characters like Black Knight and stuff like that. We might even get a hint of maybe Captain Britain in there somewhere as well. And Multiverse of Madness. So any of the weird stuff coming out. And Moon Knight. I want to see how they stick the landing with Moon Knight.
Where's my fucking money, Dracula?
Where are you, Dracula, you little bitch? I know you got my money. I'm really hoping like we get like the modern version of it. Like, where he's all, like, suited and booted with the mask on. Like, he's got his personality of a cab driver, but then he's also the Egyptian god thing. And I think Keanu Reeves would be so good in that role.
Yeah,
I think it's perfect for Keanu Reeves.
I'm really actually most excited for Thor Love and Thunder after Ragnarok. And I'm also really excited for Guardians Volume 3. I always feel like the Guardians of the Galaxy films are, like, an event in their own. Like,
yeah,
I remember there's just like a big whirlwind of emotions when you watch a Guardians of the Galaxy film. Mm-hmm. Like all the humor, and then you have the hard hitting aspects of it, and they're just big. They're just big, and I like them.
Like, yeah, I am excited for those two as well because, like I said, like they are the weirder sort of side of it, more comic booky side of it, but they feel a bit too far away for me to be that excited about them right now. Like, I'm excited about what we know about so far. You get me?
Yeah. But
like, I am going to be so excited for them when they finally come up because, like, the Jane Foster version of Thor and stuff like that has been one of my favourite things in comic books lately.
Yeah. And I kind of like after watching the Guardians films, it really makes me quite excited to see what he does with Suicide Squad.
Yeah, definitely.
And
he's
also
nailed that group aspect comic book genre.
It's a good balance. He's nailed the balance right. And that's why I like the Guardians films, because there's a really good balance in them. It's not like too much one way or too much the other. It's like action, it's also story, it's also, it's a good balance of films. But also, he's also confirmed that every James Gunn cut has ever been released in theaters. So he's only ever released his cut. So don't worry, people. The Suicide Squad will be untouched.
Yeah. I think they knew that going in. Like, as soon as they hired him, like, I think Warner Brothers learned the lesson from what people were saying, like, hands off. Like, we got
we spoke
James
about
Wan's
this last
version of
time, didn't
Aquaman.
we? We spoke about how you don't get James Gunn to then not have, to not control his film. You
give him creative freedom of it.
Yeah,
there's a reason why he writes and directs his own films.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, right, that's enough talking about MCU. Goodness me, I think we just figured out what our topic was for this episode.
That's the title.
Yeah. That's me not having to think of a title later. We have got a little bit of trailers to cover off for the rest of the week.
Yeah. And we'll fly through these pretty quickly in our world-famous segment. Everybody loves it. Everybody knows it. Everybody together now. Time for Trailer Trash. Yahoo!
Wait an absolute second, because if you didn't know, you've got a musician on the podcast.
Oh, let's get it going. Trailer Trash.
That is potentially mildly offensive. But here we are.
I don't think it's as offensive as if we did an impression of Ken Watanabe.
We are explicit on here for a reason. There are worse podcasts than this. At least we dance around it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Do
you want to hit us off with this first one? Because this is your thing.
I am really excited for this. So this is the first look. Well, the extended first look, I'd say. This is the first proper trailer we've had for the season 2 of the Umbrella Academy. I'm very excited for the Umbrella Academy. It's a rare thing when both me and my girlfriend like to watch a Netflix or a TV series like this, and I ended up getting her to watch a few episodes of it, and she really enjoyed it. And I was like, oh
Okay.
my God. I was like, I can talk to you about the Umbrella Academy. It's like magic. So
Brilliant.
potentially, I mean, July 31st. I mean, Chris, we're actually recording these episodes ahead of time for
Yeah.
the next couple of weeks. So, I mean, we have the... no, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do an Umbrella Academy episode. So we'll have to do that when you get back.
Yeah. Well, I'll be back before it launches anyway, so it'll probably be like the week after.
Oof. Depends if it's released an episode per week or whether it all drops.
I think it's all going to drop. That's how Netflix tends to do it.
In which case...
But that's how they did it.
You may have a quite prompt Umbrella Academy Season 2 episode.
Yes.
It's been a while since we've done a TV series.
I know, yeah.
I think the last one we did may have been Mandalorian. Might have been that long ago. Oh no, we did a bit of Snowpiercer and Space Force. We did Space Force was the last one.
It's been a while since we've covered a whole season of something.
Yeah, because we did. Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway,
What do you think of this anyway?
I really like the direction that they're going with this because obviously at the end of Umbrella Academy Season 1, they have that moment where the moon is coming to the Earth, right? Yeah. And then they all disappear. And I like how it's not really related to that. It's related to that they drop in the Cold War and that their presence there impacts everything else that's going on. But I like how it's just the weird and wonderful new like stories and stuff that they go through and just how it's just strange and it knows it's strange and like it's just good, man. Like this seems like the full-on bizarre parts of season 1 all over again. Like they seem to be steering more into the weird stuff, which I'm all for. Like I forgot, like I couldn't remember if we found out where they time traveled to at the end of season 1. It doesn't show you. They just disappear, and that's pretty much the end.
So when this trailer starts and it's just all of a sudden in the 60s, I was like, wait, what the fuck's going on here? And I was like, wait, time travel? Or I wasn't sure if like they just rewrote history and like they were still in the modern times, but it is Fives, isn't it? The one that jumps through time.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if he was just like hopping around and he saw that they fucked up the timeline or something like that, and there was Russians in America or something. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then it's like, oh no, it's all in the 60s, and like one of them's got a cult and shit like that. It's just bizarre, and I was like, yeah, okay, sign me up for this.
Yeah, I actually really want to go back and watch season 1 before this because
I probably will as well.
It's just so good. Like there's so many really good little parts in it. Like even Hazel, you got Hazel and Cha-Cha. Like I totally forget they're a thing in this.
Yeah.
And you've got the whole storyline between Vanya and Leonard ends up being like an absolute psychopath. Plus, that Cameron Britton who plays Hazel is an amazing actor. He was Edward Kemper in Mindhunter. Oh man,
yeah.
Really good. Really,
he was
really
so good
character.
because that's based off a real guy, and like he nailed that guy's characteristics so much.
Go watch Mindhunter. Very good. But
I like. Oh, season 1 was so good. Like I forgot how much I enjoyed like how quirky it was until I saw this trailer again. I was like, man, that was a good series. That.
Yeah, really good. And I like how we're getting more of a look at Ben as well, who was the ghost guy who died.
Dead one.
Yeah, and also Monkey Butler's still alive because they've gone back in time. They must meet. Yeah, they meet the dad and stuff again, don't they?
Yeah, so I noticed that like halfway through the trailer, we get to see like a young version of the monkey. I can't remember what the monkey's called. Like wearing a diaper, and then you see like a guy holding his hand and walking away.
Pogo.
That's the one.
Do you know who actually voices him?
I can't remember.
It's Adam Godley. He is in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Breaking Bad, Suits. You'd recognize the name. You'd recognize him if you saw him, and you'd be like, "No way, does he play the monkey?"
Yeah. He kind of does look like the monkey as well.
Well, I mean, don't be too harsh about his ears, mate. Jesus.
He was in something that I watched the other day.
He's in a lot of things.
He was in something that I watched the other day and I can't remember what he was in.
Son of Rambo.
I don't think it was 13 going on 30. I don't think it was that.
No.
Oh, mate, Son of Rambo. I forgot that was even a film.
Yeah, with Will Pootler in it.
Yeah. He was in Love Actually. That's what I always remember Adam Godley for.
Yeah.
Played the principal in that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Anyway, off that side note, yeah, I'm excited. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah. And then they drop it at the end that all the kids go back to find the dad, don't they?
Yeah, they end up
so
sitting
they're changing
the
their own timeline as well.
Yeah, so good. There were so many good parts in season 1. Like, it's so good. Like, just well thought out, well adapted, and like there's little moments in there which are just really nice, like the whole Luther and Allison moment, the dancing in the moonlight when they have that flashback of that vision or hallucination or whatever, and it's just, you know, when something just feels good when you watch something, and
it's a good feel time.
Yeah, and it's just you've picked the right song visually, the actors, because you've got all the lights as well, and yeah, just that scene. Just when something,
this was one of Sam's favourite shows of last year.
When something just hits right, that's the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, it did stick the landing. It really did.
Yeah.
Shall we move on from the Umbrella Academy anyway? We can talk about it more when we do an episode on it, because we definitely will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, the next trailer kind of came out of nowhere for me. An American Pickle. Did you watch this trailer in the end?
I did, yeah. I had no idea where this was going. Like, I thought it was just going to be a film with old Russian Seth Rogen, right? But when it takes that turn and he actually preserves himself in pickle brine.
He pickles himself and wakes up 100 years in the future to find his own great-grandson, who is also played by Seth Rogen.
You can just tell that he smoked a little bit too much green and then came up with this idea.
I watched a video the other day about the genius of Seth Rogen films, and he just nails those films where you're able to just turn your mind off, but everything like feels real about it. But you're able to just turn your mind off and enjoy a good time. Like, he is the depiction of what, like, just a good time comedy should be.
And I like how it's that kind of living with yourself, Paul Rudd kind of vibe, where it's his, you know, he's also his grandson or whatever.
Yeah.
A great grandson or whatever.
Yeah, seeing him play off himself. One's, like, older and he's got like loads of scattered hair and a big bushy beard, and then you get like clean shaven, younger looking Seth Rogen who's like trying to get into the tech industry or something like that.
Yeah,
but it seems like he's kind of doing like what he did with 50-50 as well, and trying to have like some sort of heartwarming elements to it, like this journey of family and stuff like that.
But it looks like he's actually gonna do some real good acting chops in this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this. I think it might give me another reason to get HBO Max, to be fair.
Yeah, so this was like the big part of it for me. I think this is the first HBO Max original film we're getting. Obviously, we had the announcement of Justice League, but I think this is the first one being released. It's being released on August 6th.
Wow, that's not far off, really.
No.
So is HBO Max already a thing? See, we live in the UK and we don't get things like this straight away. We had to wait. We had to wait like 6 months for Disney Plus alone, didn't we? So.
Yeah, HBO Max dropped. It came out the same week that the Zack Snyder announcement came out. So all these announcements came out with the launch of it, obviously to build hype for it. They announced it.
Wow!
But
so when you
so it's on there and it's got loads of stuff on there. People are saying it's close to being the best streaming service out there at the moment.
When you Google HBO Max UK, the first line in the Google search is HBO Max probably won't launch in the UK.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because HBO is just not a thing over here, but because I believe they're owned by Warner Brothers, so they've got loads of Warner Brother properties on there as well, like TV shows and films and stuff like that. So people are saying it's just on a major service at the moment.
Sounds like we might need a bloody VPN to sort that out.
If anybody wants to sponsor us with a VPN, we will happily provide that service to everybody so that they too can get HBO Max.
Very good.
Nord? Anybody? Express? Anybody?
Ola? Does anybody still use old school VPNs, or is there a popularity when it comes to VPNs?
Is there a trend with VPNs? Okay,
What
next
VPN
trailer.
do you use?
I don't use one. I
No,
probably should.
I feel like I really should.
But I
Everywhere,
feel like it would also fuck up with all my work shit as well at the moment.
yeah,
Like,
it's
got
like
a VPN for work, so
it's like I see a lot of stuff where it's like make sure you're not using a VPN, but then everyone's like use a VPN, it's more secure. It's like, oh, who do I believe?
Anyway. Next trailer. She dies tomorrow. This seems like a weird sort of introspective psychological thriller film.
Yeah, I
very
didn't
much
really,
like an
I'll be honest,
indie.
I didn't really like the look of this.
Oh, see, I like the look of it. I feel like it was a weird sort of tone to it, though. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on, whether it was going to lean more into horror or thriller. I couldn't quite figure it out, but it seems like definitely a film that I would like sit in on like a Saturday night and watch this.
Yeah, I
So
think maybe I'll wait and see what the reviews are like, and maybe wait for you to watch it first.
so it
let you be the guinea pig.
It seems like the premise of this is that a woman's like early 30s daughter comes back and she's got this premonition that she's going to die like in the next day. She won't reach tomorrow. She says there's no tomorrow for me. And it's this like ingrained fear that she has that she's going to die, but this fear becomes contagious. So she spreads it onto her mother, who seems to spread it onto her friends and stuff like that. And they all have this sort of thing that they're going to die in the next 24 hours.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
So they're like trying to prevent their own death, or they're constantly expecting their death to come and stuff. So this gets released in America on July 31st. I'm not sure where it's being released or when it's going to be released in the rest of the world. It might be one of those things where it comes straight to DVD over here or to little independent theaters or something like that once they've all reopened.
Yeah,
but it seems like pretty interesting to me. It seems like something I'd definitely watch.
Well, something that I don't think will be going straight to DVD would be the Aretha Franklin biopic Respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. It feels weird saying
Suck it
respect.
to me, suck it 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 to me, suck it.
I feel like you just need to say R-E-S-P-E-C-T. I feel like saying respect just doesn't land the same.
Yeah, I feel like you just, yeah, I agree. I think it looks pretty good though. I think it's going to be one of those things. I think it's just going to do well. I think it's going to do really well, especially with everything that's happened recently. Absolutely, it's going to do really well.
Yeah, so this is coming out prime time. It's coming out at the holiday season. This is a proper like take your mums to see this film. It feels very much in the vein of like Dreamgirls and stuff like that. Like this musical biopic, which is also just phenomenally cast and everything like that. It feels like almost elevated from like Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocketman kind of had like a not a homemade vibe to it, but more of like an indie vibe to it. I don't know how to describe it. It just felt a bit more like this, whereas this feels like a major like cinematic thing.
Yeah,
like the way it's framed and everything.
Even casting wise, it's done really well. I mean, it's got Jennifer Hudson playing Aretha Franklin, who, to be honest,
fantastic because she's going to be the one singing as well. So
yeah, I mean, to be fair, like really, it was only recently we really lost Aretha Franklin, wasn't it? It wasn't really that long ago.
Yeah.
And we got Forrest Whitaker, supporting actor, Mary J. Blige from Umbrella Academy, who plays Char Char's in here. Titus Burgess from...
I mean, also Mary J. Blige from being Mary J. Blige, not necessarily all from Academy, Umbrella Academy. But yeah, I get what you mean.
And then Titus Burgess from The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Not how to say the name. It's a bit of a mouthful, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah, I think if this nails the landing as well as it looks from the trailer, I think this is going to sweep some awards.
Yeah.
Especially for or the Golden Globes do it by genre, don't they? So best musical comedy is going to sweep all them. It'll get best original, not original song because it won't have song, but you know what I mean. It's going to do so fucking well.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Hudson's probably going to get a leading actress nomination. If this film lands, then she'll probably get a Oscar nod. I stuck the landing on that.
Well, she didn't get one for Cats. No,
Release the butthole cut. That's all I want to say about cats.
God. But yeah, I think you just have to look at Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man, and this will do well.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
think just look at Dreamgirls. That's where Jennifer Hudson like hit the limelight, and she was the standout star in that. Like that's got Beyonce in, and people only talk about Jennifer Hudson in that film.
Yeah. And then we got another look at Halloween Kills. So this was more of a news thing versus a trailer, because it was only really a quick look at part of the film, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the trailer picks up where the final frame of the film left off. So you've got Laurie Strode and her daughter and granddaughter in the back of the pickup truck. They've just had this serious fight with Mike Myers. They think they've trapped him in the basement to burn. Like, they think this guy is dead. Finally, once and for all, he's done for. But the ambulances, the police service and everything are rushing the other way, and you see Laurie Strode freaking out, just like, let him burn, let him burn, let him burn. Like, I'm excited for these films because I love the Halloween films. I even love the really shitty ones. Like, this is a horror franchise that just lands with me.
You'll have to
so
get
you
another-
haven't seen the last one, haven't you?
No, you'll have to get another co-host for this.
So the last one you could actually get away with watching. It's not majorly jump scary or anything. It is gritty with some of the things that it shows is pretty snotty, but it's not as jump scary. So you could probably get away with it.
Yeah,
But
I don't.
I
mind
thought it was pretty
that.
good. I don't think it was as good as the original. Everybody kept trying to say, is it as good as the original? It's never going to be as good as the original. The original helped launch the slasher genre. Like, you're just not going to beat it.
No.
But it was a pretty damn good film. It was better than most of the Halloween films we've had since the original. So yeah, I'm excited for these. But the main news is that it was meant to come out this Halloween. It's being pushed back a whole year, which means the sequel to Halloween Kills. So we're getting Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, they were
last
all
one of the
named,
trilogy?
yeah.
Is being pushed back to the year after. So because they're filming these two films back to back. So yeah, it's Halloween Ends has been pushed back to 2022 now. It's kind of sad because this film's pretty much finished. But they want to nail, obviously, that Halloween release date.
Yeah, no, of course. And I had some proper. Obviously, I've not seen the Halloween film, the recent one, but
Yeah.
I was saying to you, I had some real it vibes from the beginning of this, and I think that was because of the little audio motif you get, which is a bit like that whole thing where, remember from It, where it sounds like a clown noise, and it's like a laughing sound, but really messed up. And then you've got the balloons on the fence as well. It was almost like a little strange nod to It as well at the same time.
Yeah, I kind of get what you mean. That was the new version of the Halloween theme. Because John Carpenter did the score for the last film, and he remade his theme. He did an updated version of it, so that was that version. So it has sort of that drone-in sort of sound that you can't quite figure out, like you said at the beginning. Then it cuts into the din 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 din.
Yeah, it's more like I don't know if I can. It's hard to remnant. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool though. The music and atmosphere in such a short teaser trailer is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the final shot of the teaser trailer was Michael standing there after being burnt.
Well, he's not dead if there's a new Halloween film. Let's be honest.
Well, he's not dead if there's 2 sequels already planned. But you also saw anyway in the end of the last film. Spoilers for anybody that's not seen it. So they leave the house. So you see him. He's trapped at the bottom of the stairs in the basement as it's on fire, and he's starting to catch fire. So he's on fire, and he's just staring at him, just dead stare, like he always fucking does. So they think, right, he's finally fucking done for. So they leg it out, and then after they escape, it cuts back to the same shot of them looking down, well, where they would be looking down into the basement, and Mike Myers is gone. He's not there anymore.
Oh.
So everyone was like, oh, he's definitely still alive, and then they announced the 2 sequels. So,
yeah, well, you weren't going to announce them before they released the film, were you? Because that might have ruined the surprise.
Yeah.
And then what we wrapping up with?
we're wrapping up with. So this was kind of a surprise, kind of not a surprise. So we knew Netflix was working on a new Transformers film. Turns out it's a trilogy of films called Transformers War for Cybertron. The first part of it is called Siege, and it's dropping on July 30th. So July is a big month for Netflix. This is a new sort of 3D, sort of 2D animation style. They're pitching it as an anime, so it's an Eastern style, but they've got the original Transformer designs from the original cartoon and everything like that, and it seems to be set all on Cybertron, and it's going to be like a major war, obviously, as it states in the name, between the Autobots and Decepticons, but it's a 3-part film trilogy. Yeah, sign me up for this. Like, it looks pretty cool from what we've seen.
Yeah, I didn't end up. This is the one I didn't end up watching the trailer for, but it actually sounds pretty good. Like,
if you like anything to do with the Transformers cartoons growing up, then you'll probably really like this.
Yeah, and if you have a Netflix subscription, why the hell not?
Yeah, why not? It's on there.
You've probably got a Netflix subscription. I'm psychic.
It's going to be better than like the last 3 Transformers films that you got.
Well, I don't know. Bumblebee was all right.
Well, yeah, I wasn't classing that.
Film.
I meant the main series Transformers films.
The Michael Bay.
Bumblebee was great. Bay. Yeah, the Michael Bay ones. Yeah, I'm talking about the Michael Bay ones. I'm talking about Age of Extinction and The Last Night.
Yeah, they were a bit. Yeah.
Anyway. It was pretty cool finally seeing Dinobots on screen though. Like, I remember when we went to see that film, like, I got way too giddy at seeing Dinobots, like seeing Lockjaw in his T-Rex form. I was like, yo, that's pretty fucking dope. And then I was like, okay, the rest of this film.
I believe that was the last Transformers film we went and watched in the cinema.
Well, yeah, they only released one after that, and we haven't seen it. I actually owned The Last Night because I was like, it was in an offer or something when I got to HMV, you know, like one of those pick up at the till type things. I was like, fuck it, yeah, I'll pick it up for a couple quid and I'll watch it. It's got Anthony Hopkins in it, can't be that bad.
Well, it's
apparently I was wrong.
It can't be that
bad. I was apparently wrong. I haven't seen it yet. Anyway, I saw dragons and knights, and I was like, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, that wraps it up for this week. So, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at GetRealPod, and you can email us at GetRealPodUK
at gmail.com.
Yeah, that's the rest of the email address. Well done,
it's because we get so used to saying like the Twitter at, so we say at the beginning, so then we say it, and then we forgot to like put the at gmail.com at the end.
I think,
we always do it. Yeah. We always do it.
You put the at in the wrong place. It's silly. Yeah. Email address should have at the beginning. gmail.com at GetRealPodUK. What?
Yeah. Anyway, leave us a rate and review wherever you listen to us. Please, it goes a long way. It gets us up in the leaderboards. We actually ranked, for such a small podcast, like this means a lot to me, that we ranked in the top 160 film and TV podcasts in Israel. It's such a bizarre thing, but it still meant a lot to me.
Well, I'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, like we're in the top 160 on all of Apple Podcasts. Like that meant a lot to me. That so thanks to our humble Israeli fans.
We are a top 100 podcast.
Top 200.
Top 200 podcast.
Yeah,
put it on a t-shirt.
The hundreds of thousands of podcasts that there are out there, that means something.
Yeah, and there was a big influx of podcasts when everything went into lockdown. So yeah, thank you very, very much for supporting us. It means a lot.
Yeah. Share us with a friend as much as you can, even if it's just like sharing our latest post to your Instagram story or something like that. It goes a long way to helping us out. But other than that, thank you so much, guys. We are going to bulk record these, so if we miss anything in the next couple episodes, it's because we have to record them beforehand. That's my fault. I'm moving house and going on holiday. So yeah, thanks for listening.
All right, yeah, see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
And just so you know, it's Chris and I aren't moving in together to start a Get Real podcast house, just in case you're wondering. That would be pretty cool, though. That'd be a weird fan fiction. Weird.
You've said fan fiction, now people are going to write it.
No.